standing behind me is going to be my new archery shop, and I just want to talk a little bit about business today in the archery business and pretty much any business. So one of the main reasons why archery shops, businesses in general, go broke is because of the rent. So it's a major expense in setting up your business, especially when you're small. So minimizing that is a huge issue, especially to start with. But even as you get bigger, still a huge issue because it's a cost before you start selling stuff. So you need to sell so many bows and so much equipment in the week before you even cover your costs. So this building behind me is around 800 square meters, which is twice the size of my current building. So basically it's going to allow me to expand. And to the side, there's going to be a big shooting range, which we're going to build. That's my plan. So I want to talk a bit about that. So one of the reasons is, why do you want to expand? So I'm hoping they'll be able to sort my stock better and carry more lines and be able to get the products quicker out the door because they'll be better sorted, more on display. The retail showroom will be about twice the size of what it is now. So for customers coming in, it'll be a bit easier to find stock and see new items. So I'm hoping that will be better. The offices to this side will be air conditioned, so hopefully it'll be better for my staff to work in than now. What's also better is you'll see there's a gate at the front, so it's a little bit more secure than where I am now. Not that I've had a problem since I've been in Adelaide. So I did have major problems with theft and break-ins when I was in Canberra. I got broken into every month, but it's a major issue when you're running a business, and that's break-ins, because it's just no fun when you're getting broken into all the time. You don't want to go and repair it, and the costs of break-ins are just, it's too much. So the first thing, minimize your rent or your purchase price to make the shop affordable. So I'm not a huge fan of renting, never been a fan of renting, because when you rent, they put the rent up every year. So you've got to increase your sales every year to cover the costs, where if you purchase, your costs decrease. So with this building behind me, for example, it's a big pile of land. It's 50 meters by 50 meters pretty much. Once you buy it, it's basically yours, and you can do stuff to it, like I'll put a big solar system on the roof to reduce my power costs. I'll insulate it to make it more better inside. So basically, if you do that stuff and you rent it, they'll put up the rent, and I'm like not a big fan of that. I haven't had much luck renting properties in the past, so big fan of buying, because as you buy, your rent actually, the amount which you're paying to the bank decreases. And right now, with bank interest rates being about 4%, it's very, very affordable to purchase. Now you're going to say, how are you going to pay for this property behind me? I'm actually selling two properties to pay for it, and if I have to, I'll sell my house. And I'll live in a caravan on site, but I'm hoping it won't come to that. But that's my plan. So I'd like ideally to be debt free, because I don't want overhead. So if the economy goes bad, basically I've got no overheads, and worst case scenario is you have to cut your staff budget if sales go bad. But I suspect by going to a premises which is twice the size, I can carry more items and actually sell maybe 20-30% more than I currently do. Now, I'm going to sort of start on that. When I started my business, I was small, I was in my garage, and I basically sold stuff by myself. And you can provide a certain level of customer service to those customers, and that enables your business to grow. As you become bigger and you employ people, you've got to kind of, when I say watch them, your business becomes bigger than just you, because if you've got 10 staff employed, and I think I've got more than that, it's more about their level of customer service to the customers, because you cannot provide all the customer service. Literally, when the phone rings in my shop, people ask to speak to me, and it's like, I don't have time to ring back people because I'm busy all the time. So I have all these people employed, and hopefully they can deal with the customers and assist them and provide good customer service. Like my business on Saturday, for example, we had, I think, about 8 people working, and it would just be way too big for just one person. So, for the people who leave bad reviews and, they want to kind of trash your business, we're the only shop in the state. All you would do is basically you decrease the number of staff that you would have in that business. And I don't know why you'd ever want to put staff out of business, out of work. Why you'd want to do that, it's beyond me. But each their own. A lot of people have, that way inclined. But so now I'm going to talk about a shooting range. Now, to me, a shooting range has to cover its costs. Everything has to cover its cost. If I've got a building this big behind me, one, it's got to be secure. So we're going to, talk about security later. But it's got to be secure. So there's going to be like cameras on the roof looking out here. On the other side of me is a government building which has cameras actually pointed at this building. So right now the security guards right there would be looking at me, filming this. And there was an attempted break-in to this many years ago, and because there's a security guard there 24 hours a day, which is 20 meters from here, and their camera's pointing straight here, the break-in didn't occur. They didn't actually get through the front gate, which is great. So I love the security aspect, and it's very, very close to my home. So like about less than a K from my home. So a 15-minute walk to the shop to my home. So I really like that feature. Now in the shooting range, I kind of priced out how much it's going to cost to build, and these numbers might be wrong, but I looked online and it might be around $30,000. Let's say it's $50,000 to build a range. Interest rates are 4%. So it's about $2,000 a year I need to cover on that shooting range, $40 a week. I think I can cover that in shooting fees, beginners courses, and I think by having a shooting range where I actually train people and create some sort of league environment where people want to come and shoot and socialize, I'll create more of a social network, and that will get more people shooting in archery. It'll get more beginners started, and it'll get more people shooting. One of my things with this business, in an archery business, I need to get more customers. So we've got a big state, 2 million people. I need more customers. And it's like, how do you grow your customer base? You provide good service, customers come back. Now we've got literally more customers than we can handle at the moment, but it's looking for the future. And I think in having a shooting range here where I'll probably do some comps where I throw out some prize money every week. I'll probably do some handicaps things for people improving every week. I'll have a beginners range where people will be coaching. So I'll have probably kids coaching people. So they'll be getting money. So they'll be a work where they want to come to as a preferred place of employment rather than working at McDonald's. That's kind of where I want to go to. So I mean, ideally I'd like to have rural property with a shooting range and field courses, but at the moment I haven't been able to find one. I haven't been able to find the ideal property, and the costs have been far, far more than I want to spend on that. So I think I've covered all the major points. So if you're thinking about setting up a business, try and keep your rent low or your cost of the building low. Try and keep, when you're purchasing stock, try and keep stock which is slow, turnovers down, and keep customer service up. It doesn't mean you're running a loss. It just means you help people out and people will come back. Because if you sell a product to one person, they'll tell their mates and they'll come in and they'll buy gear. It's that customer service where people are enjoying themselves, they're enjoying archery, they'll keep coming back to enjoy the sport, and they'll keep buying new bows, they'll keep buying accessories, they'll introduce their friends to it, and the whole cycle repeats. Now I'm going to just mention on that, so when I was in Canberra, the business before me that was there sold, I think their best was 200,000. We built that business up to about 5 million. This state had 2 archery shops when I came here. One employed 2 people, the other one employed 1 person, 3 people employed in total. I think I've now got about 12 staff employed in my business here in Adelaide. And I'm going to say, it's really too busy in this store. It really needs to be split, but it's very, very hard to manage 2 stores and to have staff in sort of 2 locations without the knowledge and all that sort of stuff. But the state is big enough for multiple archery stores, so never get scared off by, there's an archery shop in a town, that's why I shouldn't open one. It's about level of service to the customers, how you promote yourself different to the other people, and work on your business. You've got to work harder, you've got to be competitive, you've got to work. I work literally every day of the week. I work late nights. I work literally all the time. So and I always look at other businesses, I look at other business models and say, well, what can I do better, how I can improve. So, and I think for me this was the next step, going to somewhere bigger, having a shooting range, displaying the stock better. I'm going to build columns, and when we're building this business, hopefully I'll do videos to show what I'm doing, what I'm thinking about, how I display stuff, my thought process, and I'm going to go through how I do the whole shop fit out, where I buy the stuff from. And just on that, the shop fit outs in Australia, so a piece of board where you display the board in Australia costs $150 a piece. In China it's $20. Same piece of board, that's the markup. So in here I've got 800 square meters of floor. The cheapest flooring I can find in Australia is probably $40 a square meter. In China I can buy it for about $6. So I'll be buying solid wood from China and putting it on the floor in here. So I've got a nice wood floor, and hopefully put in a wood fireplace and put some air conditioners in and stuff, so it's a nice place to work. So with that, stay safe, and I'm just going to say, with the coronavirus stuff, always think about how to improve your business, how you work on it, how you grow it. My sisters own two businesses, a clothes business which was hit very hard during Corona. It's now recovered, and the other business was a restaurant. They went to prepackaged meals, and they sold more prepackaged meals than they did when they had their restaurant, and their restaurant seats 200 people. So, and right now, because it's kind of half back, it's half back to operations, I think they're allowed 50 people in there. Their sales have never been better in the restaurant. So it's always about, well, what you can do to grow your business, whatever industry you're in. What should I be doing to provide more service, more products to the customers, which customers want, and how I make money from that. I just want to talk about renting and buying and setting up an archery business a little bit more. So this building is my dad's first archery shop that he set up. Well, first it was, set up 30 odd years ago. Now, the lowest sales Dad ever sold in this building was $700,000 a year, and he sold more than that. This is on the main street in Adelaide, which is a big city, 2 million people. About 1 million cars, I think, drive past this building every day. It's a big building, high ceilings, main street frontage, and there's a 3-bedroom house on the back. Now, the 3-bedroom house on the back rents for about $250 a week. Now, I'm going to actually sell this building, and it's going to sell for around $700,000. Bank interest is 4%, so that equates to costing $28,000 a year, which equates roughly to $550 a week it would cost you to own this building. Now, so if you wanted to own a business, the house on the back rents for $250, so it's going to cost you $300 a week to own this shop, to have an archery shop on the busiest street in the state in a population of 2 million people. $300 a week is what it's going to cost you to own a business. Now, to me, that's extremely cheap, and it's a no-brainer as far as if you wanted to own an archery shop. $300 a week, super cheap, right? So that's what I look at when I'm looking to buy a business or set up a business. Can I make $300 to cover the rent from this archery shop? So let's say I had a coffee shop in this building. Could I make $300 a week from it, selling coffees to pay the rent and then cover me in a wage? Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's a bit of a no-brainer. So it's a big building. It's like 20 meters down there and about 15 meters across. There's offices up the top, air conditioned, and like I said, car parking out the back. So I'm going to go back again to, if you're setting up a business. Now, let's say you rent. So one of the buildings I first rented in Canberra was $1,000 a week, and it was a terrible building in a back street, and it was dusty. All my stock would get dirty in there, and it got broken into every month. And part of the lease was that I had to return the building to its original condition or better when I left, and it was dirty and disgusting building. I had to paint it when I left. I had to clean the floors because the floors were disgusting. I had to paint the inside of the building, and it was costing me $1,000 a week, and all the dust and dirt would just fly in that place. So when if you're looking to set up a business, work out, well, what's the exposure going to be? Am I going to need to run ads? So with this being on the main street, you could put big signs outside. I mean, my idea was to run big pictures out the front of archers in different scenarios, hunting, shooting, girls shooting, guys shooting, and make it sports-like. And I'd have 1 million people a day seeing that. Now, this didn't work out for me. And I can go in a whole video of why it didn't work out. But as far as if you're looking to set up a business, and like I was looking to set up a business in America, and I've looked at many buildings in America, I was basically looking at, well, what's my potential sales in America, and how much is that rent, or if I purchase the property, how much is it going to cost me? And at the moment, with interest rates being so low, 4% interest to buy a commercial building, to me, it's a bit of a, if you wanted to set up an archery business, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Now, in that context, I'm going to say, do you want to own an archery business? Because the wages being paid by companies is high. And I had a person comment, give me a negative review the other day, and I was like, do you know what? I could just go back to what I used to do. I'm a programmer, and I can earn $200,000 a year as opposed to running an archery business. I could join the council and head of IT. But for me, I like the archery industry. I like the customers. I have a lifelong connection with customers, and for every negative review I get or a negative comment I get 100 positive. And you've got to bear that in mind. When your shop's full of customers, they're coming to you because they want to come to you. They have a choice, and if you're busy, if your phone's ringing off the hook, if you're getting hundreds of emails, even though you can't answer them all, it shows that you've got a demand. And that demand is a good thing. It's a bad thing also, but it's a good thing that you've got demand for your product. The problem is meeting that level of expectation that you need to. So as opposed to my manager side, IT that I used to do, archery is very different, but it keeps me active, and it's even a sport that I want, something that I enjoy, and I develop literally hundreds of lifetime connections, and it's an industry I enjoy. So hope that's been beneficial, and if you're looking to set up an archery business, drop a like or drop a comment down below if there's anything else you want to see, and if I can be beneficial. Thanks.